Hello, neighbors. That's how Mr. Rogers always began his children's television show, by calling everyone neighbor. It was his way of saying that we all belong here, just as we are. Now, you might not expect a chemist turned tech entrepreneur to be here to talk about the transformative power of neighborliness. Maybe you'd anticipate a story about the startup grind, or the challenges that women face in male-dominated industries, or the odds against a bootstrap founder. Instead, my hope is that you will leave our time together with a proven formula for how to shape a brighter future. Even when we start with incomplete information, are working with other imperfect people, and the outcomes aren't certain. I'll share what I've learned from working with community volunteers and startup founders who have tackled problems big and small. Their optimism in the face of uncertainty, backed by an action framework, is a formula for sparking positive change that I've come to call AIM anyway. So, neighbors, that's where we begin today, with how we can all aim anyway for the brighter future we envision in our tech-enabled world. Mr. Rogers understood that technology can divide us or unite us, so he chose to use television to foster neighborliness at scale. When I was a kid and our family moved, no matter the town, Mr. Rogers was there. Sweater, sneakers, and a steady reminder that kindness and connection transcend geography. Also known for being neighborly, Girl Scouts started offline and continued to take a face-to-face approach to teach girls leadership skills globally. I wasn't a Girl Scout myself growing up in the US, but when my husband's job took our family to China, a neighbor invited me to be a troop leader with her. That's when I first encountered the Girl Scouts' highly scalable approach to solving problems as a team, which became the basis for the AIM Anyway formula. Girl Scouts start with make the world a better place. Simon Sinek's Golden Circle famously starts with why, followed by how and what, as a simple model to explain how great organizations inspire action. When we overlay these similar approaches, we see a path towards progress. We start with a worthy purpose that makes the world a better place, which is the why we do what we do. AIM Anyway is a formula for how to move towards that why, and the what we do is the problem-solving outcome. Since each of our why and what can be different, we'll focus on how the AIM Anyway formula helps us make a positive impact on a scale we can't achieve alone. How Girl Scouts act is shaped by practicing neighborly values that build courage and good character. To mark their 100-year anniversary in 2012, they added a simple leadership framework to tackle any problem. Discover, connect, take action. Because lasting change is rarely one and done, I added a fourth step to the Girl Scouts approach: repeat. Not doing the same thing again and again, but learning from each cycle to improve, building our courage and confidence to try again next time. Discover, connect, action, repeat, or DECAR for short. Altogether, the AIM Anyway formula for positive progress is DECAR plus courage plus character. While the formula is simple, we should acknowledge that simple doesn't always mean easy. But what's also true, the alternative of staying stuck and letting problems get worse isn't easy either. So, let's look at 3 ways that neighbors have used this formula to spark change on a local, national, and global basis, and how we can too. I've never really stopped being the new kid. Even as an adult, I've kept moving. New cities, new jobs, new communities, new places to call local. And I've learned something important along the way. Volunteering with other people who care about the same things that we do is the fastest way to go from outsider to neighbor. That's how I met two technology professionals who were also PTA parents. I showed up to a meeting barely knowing anyone, but when the Rossmans needed help turning a school gym into a haunted hotel for a 5th grade fundraiser, I raised my hand and they found a place for me. Working alongside them, I watched them follow DECAR, discover what the kids dreamed of, connect their construction skills with volunteers, take action to build a memorable event. And they didn't make it just a one-time thing. They handed off the blueprints to the next year's team so that it could be adapted again. It's worth noting that repeat can look like passing the baton to the next generation so that they can learn what worked and what didn't. Those adorable 5th graders from the haunted hotel, they're now high school grads, taking the baton of adulthood in a world shaped by microplastics, social media echo chambers, and rapid shifts in AI and automation. And the Rossmans, they became not just neighbors, but trusted life advisors. Years later, I was sitting on their porch wrestling with a problem from my work in the chemical industry. Sometimes the wrong chemical gets unloaded in the wrong tank, and I had an idea for an app to help hazmat truck drivers prevent that potentially dangerous mistake. This was one of many important Discover conversations with technology experts who helped me build the confidence and courage to aim anyway for safer transport. Modeling courage to believe in and build a better future is exactly what we owe ourselves and the next generations. So, let's take a look next at what happened when a neighbor I admire put DECAR plus courage into action on a local basis that has since grown to a national scale. Shazak Tsunoda lost her 3-year-old son to drowning. To honor Yori's life, she generously shares her story when it would be easier to stay silent. Her courage to aim anyway is helping other families avoid that same tragedy. Let's walk through exactly how she applied DECAR. Discovered that drowning is the leading cause of death for children ages 1 to 4, yet many families don't know basic water safety. Connected with other parents and organizations in her city to learn how to raise water safety awareness. Took action by starting a nonprofit, No More Under, beginning with free swimming lessons and life jacket loaner stations at local beaches. Repeats now with every family reached and a national program partnered with university swim teams to teach under-resourced children to swim safely. Because she has the courage to not look away from a challenge, she continues to inspire me where I can look in my own life to aim anyway. Courage is essential to forge new paths, but it's not enough on its own. It's the good habits of working together that turn it into change. This can look like leading with a vision like a startup founder, and it can look like showing up as a community volunteer to achieve a common good. It can also look like carrying the load for someone when they need a break, and sometimes it's taking the break ourselves. Spending our time with other people who have a neighborly, get stuff done mindset creates communities that can move the world forward in positive ways. That positivity works not only for local PTAs and national nonprofits, it also works on a global enterprise scale. Another neighbor, Court Lorenzini, helped breathe life into the ashes of a failed company by having the courage to dust off a dismissed patent. He discovered an overlooked opportunity, connected with a former colleague who embraced the vision and brought the product idea to life. Took action to build something better than reams of couriered paper and faxes, and repeated until it became DocuSign, the now global standard for trusted electronic signatures, and voted one of the best places to work in the US. So, what happens when community organizations and the best places to work add good character to DECAR and courage? We get progress that lasts, not because it's built on flashy new technology, but because every action is grounded in what really matters. Good character guides how we lead, follow, and how we treat each other, especially under pressure. The Girl Scout law outlines 15 values for how effective leaders act. Because I can't remember 15, I've condensed them into 3 that guide me: dignity, accountability, and curiosity. Dignity is recognizing the inherent worth of every human being and treating them as we would want to be treated. Accountability is taking responsibility so that we can learn from what worked and what didn't. And curiosity is always asking, how can we be better? When people effectively aim anyway with DECAR, courage, and lived values of good character, we go from Girl Scout founder Juliette Gordon Low in 1912 Georgia to a global movement of 50 million alumni in every US zip code and 90 countries around the world. That led to me being a troop leader whose neighbors encouraged the pursuit of safer chemical transport, to this talk today that is your invitation to aim anyway for more positive possibilities yet to be discovered. That's how progress happens. Not all at once, not alone, but together with other imperfect people who are also willing to learn from their mistakes. And it all starts with discovering what's important to us and connecting with other people, online and in real life, to make our corner of the physical or digital world a better place together. Which brings us back to where we started with Mr. Rogers. For over 30 years, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood used television to remind generations that you are special because there is no one else in the world like you, and that our neighbors are special too. In the face of criticism that TV watching could be harmful to kids, he saw the potential in this powerful medium to tune the dial to neighborly connection. Today's world is faster and more chaotic, and still we struggle with what is the harm and what is the good. The magnitude of change from TV to AI is significant, but the challenge is the same. How will we tune the dial to something that helps, that heals, that holds us together? The world will keep changing. The tools will evolve, and the challenges will shift. But how we as imperfect people build better together has been much the same for millennia. We find a worthy purpose that makes the world a better place and follow an action framework like DECAR. Discover, connect, action, repeat. Add a generous amount of courage and always strive for good character by upholding dignity and accountability and remaining curious about how we can be better. In the blink of an eye, precious moments become memories, little scouts grow up, and we see that our time together as neighbors is shorter than we think. That realization should wake us up to use the time that we have to make things better, safer, and kinder. Our neighbors are waiting for us to raise our hands to help. Our better world is waiting for us to have the courage to shape it. So, whatever uncertainty and imperfection that we're facing, let's spark the change we want to see. Let's aim anyway.